morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show on this Friday, the 4th of March, 2022. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad to have you guys here. Now, here's the thing, guys. I was watching a situation. Well, let's just say this. Yesterday, Vladimir Putin said that the invasion of Ukraine is going according to plan. That's one thing, right? So last night I was watching the situation. And the Russians came in from all sides on a rather large nuclear power plant. Now, I hear it's 10 times the size of Chernobyl. The Chernobyl. You all remember the Chernobyl situation. The Chernobyl thing that happened. Well, it was quite a while ago. But I heard that this plant is 10 times the size of Chernobyl. And these plants, they have what's called a containment wall surrounding the reactors. And it's very thick. But the Russians surrounded the plant last night. They had it surrounded from all sides, and there were bombardment going on. I guess with tanks and machine guns and everything else you can think of, hand grenades and everything else around the plant. Well, you know what? Now, this is a fact. The prevailing winds tend to blow all around Europe, but they also blow, they blow toward the Russian Federation. So you got a plant 10 times the size of Chernobyl. Russians bombarding it. Prevailing winds can blow toward the Russian Federation, and it's on fire. They got it on fire. Well, they got the fire out. Thank goodness. Oh my goodness, thank goodness. Anyway, so we can breathe a little bit of relief today. That I guess nothing leaked too much. I guess the containment wall stayed intact. Thank God. Thank God they build those containment walls thick. Is the world gone nuts? Is there a Dr. Evil out there someplace? Like from Austin Powers movie, that guy that holds the world ransom, and he says, for $1 million. And then they all look at him like, what's $1 million nowadays? Like he'd been asleep for like 30 years or something, and he come back, and he was like, didn't know that the world had inflated, and $1 million was nothing anymore. That's exactly what's happened to our money. And you know what? Inflation's going to get a lot worse, and the Fed now is admitting it. They're admitting it. Finally. That inflation, that they were behind the curve. They're admitting they were behind the curve. They're admitting they're too little, too late. But we're looking at half of the world's, pretty near, well, it's about a third of the world's wheat supply. Poof, gone. What kind of shortages is that going to create in all these countries out there? You know how much the world relies upon wheat? I don't know whether wheat is bigger or rice is bigger. Well, see, there's only like 4 staples that we get our carbohydrates from. We get them from wheat, potatoes, rice, and corn, I think, for the most part. That just about covers it, those 4. And we're seeing a substantial cut in the amount of wheat. Wheat's a big one. I think it's right up there with rice. Anyway, guys, let's get in there and let's open up the charts right here and take a look at what's going on. We're going to take a look at the silver price. Now, silver and gold, they just feed off of uncertainty and fear and doubt and inflation. They feed off of it. You've been seeing them feed off of it lately. We're looking at a gold price here. It's up $22 today alone. It's at $19.58. Let's take a look at silver. Because silver's the one. Silver. There is a lot of my viewers talk about platinum and palladium. I'm going to talk about it just for a second. I think Russia's a pretty big producer of platinum and palladium. But, I'm going to tell you, it's used in the automotive industry. Mostly in the muffler systems of the cars, They got a lot of EV cars coming out now. It's starting to take a chunk out of the industry. Eventually, that's all going to switch over to EV. Probably, if you want to If you want a diesel or gas car, you're probably gonna have to put a special order to get it. All the cars are switching over now, and they're doing it pretty fast. They're retooling their factories, but it's going to take a few more years because it's such a big industry. So the gas cars will still be around for a few more years, but eventually I can see it all going EV. You know, eventually. But, you know, EV is not without its faults. You know, it does draw off of the power grid. They got to reinforce the power grids, what they need to do. You know, because if we're going to have all these EV cars plugged into the power grid, we need a more secure power grid. And, you know, Tesla has got these new batteries that they're putting out there. And they're wildly successful with them. And I mean, they can help reinforce the power grid, these new batteries, you know. They can hold reserve power in backup, so if the power grid goes down, they're still able to power it with reserve power. That's what Tesla is able to do in the future, I'm talking about. Looking out a few years, you know. Anyway, how did I get sidetracked talking about that? Anyway, here we are. We got silver up to 32 cents on the day at 25.47. Looking good. Let's take a look at cryptos. It didn't see the big bounce. We're at 1826. So we got a Bitcoin price of 41,253. So it was like 43,000 yesterday. So it's down just a little bit. But don't count Bitcoin the cryptos out, you know. This is your money of the future. People they don't trust. They need an internet money for the future. They don't trust fiat currencies. And these new central bank digital currencies are just going to be an extension of the fiat currencies. And yeah, there'll be a lot of excitement when they first come out. There will be a certain amount, but what'll happen is they're going to be tied right back to the fiats. And they're just like the fiat currencies lose value, they'll lose value too. Whereas these are deflationary. See, those are all inflationary currencies. They inflate. In other words, they lose their value. They lose their purchasing power. But cryptocurrencies all going in the opposite direction. This is a deflationary currency. And this is the biggest difference between central bank digital currency and the stuff that they're creating, which is centralized, and decentralized cryptocurrencies, is the fact that one is deflationary and the other is inflationary. And that's a huge difference. And so ultimately, in the end, I don't see any other direction but Bitcoin and the cryptos are just going to keep gaining higher and higher market value because they're deflationary. That means that they are actually hard money. And they're not centralized. They're not. See, this is the problem. Another big problem with the fiat currencies is centralization. But Bitcoin's been around since 2009. It's going to continue to be around. It's going to be in a war against these CBDCs. And ultimately, in the end, I can see it winning that war. Because it's deflationary. It's more hard money. Whereas these fiat currencies are just going to continue their road to losing value. People are losing trust in them. And no wonder. They really don't have any intrinsic value whatsoever. Let's take a look now at the Dow Jones. Down 508 points on the day, or 1.5%, at 33,286. And we're going to take a look at oil today. Oil is at $112. Oh my gosh, that's getting expensive. It's up $5 on the day so far. It's going straight up right now. What are we going to be paying at the pump? I remember just a couple months ago in the United States, it was $3, like $3.15, I think it was. Now what is it? It must be approaching $4, and soon it'll be $5. And in these other countries where it was $5, like here in Canada, it was $5. Back when it was $3 in the United States, it was $5 here. And now soon it's going to be like $7, $8, $9, $10. Imagine $10 a gallon for gasoline. I remember when I was a kid. I remember a station. It used to be a J.M. Field store in Ormond Beach. Florida. And I remember being in the JM Fields parking lot, and across the road there was a gas station. I think it was called Five Cards or something like that. I can't remember the name of it. 10 cents a gallon. 10 cents a gallon it was. I think there was a gas war going on. But still, and I think the normal price back then was only like a few pennies more. It still was nothing, the normal price, but there's a little bit of a gas war going on. But 10 cents a gallon. Can you imagine? And now look at what we're paying. This shows the disintegration of our dollar. The fact that back then you could go in and get 10 gallons of gas and pretty much fill your tank for $1. Shows you the power the dollar had when it was king dollar. No more. Not no king dollar anymore. It's being threatened by anything else out there that can replace it. The only problem is so many of them out there cannot see anything that can replace the dollar. They're thinking in terms of other fiat currencies like the Japanese, the Chinese yuan or the Japanese yen or whatever replace it. No, they can't. But what they're not seeing is something that's sneaking up from behind was cryptocurrencies, decentralized cryptocurrencies. And I've heard the first few people starting to see this thing creeping from behind that they don't see. It's hiding behind the bushes. It's ready to jump and pounce. Most people can't see it because it's hiding. It's the cryptocurrencies. It's the decentralized cryptocurrencies replacing the dollar as the world reserve currency. They can do it. And I think at a certain point, it's going to jump out from behind a bush and everybody's going to see it. And then there's going to be like, wow. That's going to be wow. You need to have a few of those, a little bit. Us people should have a little bit of that stuff. Doesn't have to be a lot. Because if it does replace the dollar, can you imagine how high it could go? Anyway. Crude oil, 112. Now let's take a look at the MOVE index today. And it's creeping up. 115. Getting toasty warm. That means the credit markets are getting very insecure in their positions. Fed's going to have to keep their eye on that. That might be why they're talking a little bit more dovish right now than they have been. They know they've lost control over inflation, especially food prices, especially being as wheat's cut off now. At least has to go up. I mean, everything you buy, your cereal, watch it go up. Your breakfast cereal, right from your breakfast cereal to your soup crackers at dinner time. Watch them go up. Okay, we're looking at well, we didn't do bonds. There's bonds. We're looking at rising yields today. We're looking at, it's not substantial, but, falling yields. Sorry, falling yields today. Not substantial. 10-year at 1.71, and the U.S. 30-year at 2.13. And, well, it is substantial on the 30-year. Look at that, 9.6 basis points. That's a big drop on no, wait. Oh, wait. I'm off a digit here. It is substantial falls in yields. I got the digit wrong in my head. No, it is a substantial fall in yields today. Look at that. 13 basis points in the 10-year. 1.71. Just like everybody else, guys, is my eyes. They're not what they were, reading it off the screen here, and I have to focus, and I thought the zero was in a different spot. But it is substantial. It's 13 basis points in the 10-year fall in the yields, 1.71, and the U.S. 30-year at 9 basis points. That's substantially a big drop in yields today. Now let's take a look at the dollar index now. 98.62. Yeah, I need reading glasses nowadays. Not like I used to be. I used to have vision. I'm telling you, I used to be able to see specks from 10 feet away. I could see a little tiny, and that's nice to have that kind of vision. But then you get older and you start to need reading glasses, You start needing a 1, and then you need a 2, and then you need a 3 in the power of the reading glasses, I'm up to about a 2 right now, or so. 1.5 or 2 or something like that. Anyway, thank you guys for listening to my show. Have a great day, guys. And we'll catch you guys in the next show. Bye-bye.